What's good, BeBackGaming crew? Today, we're diving into one of the most anticipated MMORPGs of 2025, Aion 2. Inksoft's back with a sequel to the iconic Aion, and let me tell you, I've been grinding this game for hours to bring you the full scoop. No sponsors, no fluff, just my honest take on whether Aion 2 lives up to the hype. Is it a soaring masterpiece or a crash landing? Stick around for over 20 minutes of gameplay breakdowns, visuals, story, and more. Let's get into it. For those new to the Aion universe, the original game dropped in 2008 and was a PvP powerhouse, blending epic faction wars, stunning visuals, and, of course, those iconic wings. Aion 2 builds on that legacy, using Unreal Engine 5 to create a dreamy, mysterious world inspired by the original's flag motif. But here's the twist. Unlike the first Aion's PvP focus, Aion 2 leans hard into PvE, with soft aiming for a broader audience. So, how does it stack up? Let's break it down. First up, gameplay. Aion 2 is a full-fledged MMORPG with a massive open world split into heavenly and demon zones, nodding to the Elios and Asmodean factions from the original. Character creation is next level. Think detailed sliders. For everything from facial features to wing designs, you can spend hours making your Deva look like a celestial god or a shadowy warrior. Combat is where Aion 2 shines. It keeps the tap targeting roots of the original but feels snappier, almost like a hybrid with action combat. Skill chains are back, letting you string abilities for devastating combos, and they're as satisfying as ever. For example, playing as a sorcerer, I was chaining fireballs into crowd control freezes, and it felt so smooth. Flight is still a core mechanic, but it's limited to specific zones, with gliding available everywhere to navigate cliffs and chasms. The timer on flight can feel restrictive, but potions and gear upgrades extended, so plan your builds wisely. Quests are your standard MMORPG fare, kill X monsters, gather Y resources, but the campaign quests weave a compelling story about the fractured world of Atreia. Dungeons and raids are meaty, with mechanics that demand teamwork. I ran the Afteranta dungeon with a group, and let me tell you, coordinating those boss fights was intense. However, solo players might find the grind repetitive, especially if you're not into group content. One thing I love, the crafting system. You can gather resources while exploring and turn them into gear or potions. It's not revolutionary, but it's rewarding. My gripe, some quests feel like filler, and the early game can drag if you're not hooked by the story. What do you think about MMORPG grinds? Drop a comment. Let's talk visuals, because Aion 2 is a stunner. Unreal Engine 5 delivers jaw-dropping landscapes. Think shimmering deserts, glowing forests, and towering cities that scream epic fantasy. The weather effects, like rain rippling across lakes, make exploration a treat. Character models are crisp, and those wings, chef's kiss. The art style captures that dreamy Aion vibe, with a mix of celestial and demonic aesthetics. The world feels alive, with NPCs reacting to your faction and dynamic events popping up, like Balor invasions. But here's the catch, the world isn't as massive as I hoped, compared to, say, Black Desert Online. Atreia feels a bit compact, with only a handful of zones per faction. It's gorgeous but lacks the sprawl of some competitors. Still, every corner is packed with detail, so exploration, that's like me, will find plenty to love. The story picks up where Aion left off, diving deeper into the war between the Elios and Asmodeans, with the Balor stirring chaos. You're a Deva, a demigod wielding ether, tasked with uniting or conquering Atreia. The lore is dense, sometimes too dense, with walls of text that might overwhelm casual players. But if you're a lore hound, the campaign quests deliver epic moments, like your ascension to gain wings. It's cinematic and ties nicely to the original, though I wish there were more voice-acted cutscenes. The narrative strength is its faction-driven conflict, but it leans heavily on PvE, which might disappoint fans of the original's PvP focus. Speaking of which, here's the big shift. Aion 2 dials back the PvP that made the original famous. There's still PvP, with fortress sieges and arenas, but it's not mandatory like in Aion. The focus is on PvE endgame. Think raids, world bosses, and group dungeons. The Abyss is back, but it's more of a PvE hub with optional PvP, which feels like a missed opportunity for hardcore PvP fans. Sieges are fun, with epic battles for control, but they're less frequent than I'd like. Endgame gear progression is tied to raids and crafting, with Stigma Stones and Abyss Points making a return for skill customization. It's deep but grindy, and I worrying solo players might hit a wall without a solid guild. Compared to Final Fantasy, 14's polished PvE or Guild Wars. 2's dynamic events. Aion 2 feels solid but not groundbreaking. Now, let's talk money. Aion 2 is free to play, following the original's truly free model. With a cash shop for cosmetics, mounts, and convenience items like flight potions, Ixoft's got a mixed track record with monetization. And while Aion 2 isn't pay to win at launch, some premium skins and boosts feel pricey. There's no subscription, which is great, but expect to grind for top-tier gear unless you're dropping cash. Accessibility-wise, the game runs smoothly on mid-range PCs, and the mobile version, yep. Its cross-platform feels decent but simplified. Controller support is tight, but mobile controls can feel clunky in intense fights. The community's buzzing, especially on EU and now servers. But Ixoft support has been spotty in the past, so temper expectations. So, is Aion 2 worth your time in 2025? If you're a PvE fan who loves gorgeous worlds, deep lore, and satisfying combat, this game's a blast. The visuals and skill chains are top-notch, and the crafting keeps you hooked. But if you're here for the original Aion's PvE, chaos or want a massive open world, you might feel let down. The grind can be rough, and the PvP isn't as central as it used to be. For new players, Aion 2 is a solid MMORPG with a fresh coat of Unreal Engine 5 paint. For returning Aion vets, it's a nostalgic trip with some compromises. I'd give it a 7.5/10 grade, but not perfect. What do you think? Are you jumping into Aion 2? Let's chat in the comments. That's it for our Aion 2 review. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more MMO content from BeBackGaming. Check out our Discord for community chats and join us on Twitter for updates. Got a game you want us to review next? Drop it below. Until next time, keep gaming and we'll be back.